Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. This is my very first YouTube live. So if you come in, comment down below and let me know if you're watching me live or if you're watching me on the replay. Right now, I'm just shredding or grating some fresh ginger for my elderberry syrup. I've already broken a nail. So if anyone has any tips on how to do this better, let a girl know. So elderberry syrup is good for if you're sick and you're having a cough. It also doesn't taste bad. It's also good to take fairly regularly as well. But it's so good, especially because in this recipe, it calls for raw local honey, and raw local honey alone is super good for your immune system. So I'm just finishing grating the fresh ginger and adding it to my pot. I think I need to grate just a little bit more. I'm going to try to look up and read any comments as they come in. But since I'm a new homesteader, I need to probably stay focused. Staying focused for me is probably a good thing. But this live isn't going to be very long. I just wanted to kind of hang out with you and get a feel for you and see if you even liked hanging out with me live. Wasn't super prepared, and I asked in the community center if you guys would hang out with me in the kitchen, and no one responded. So maybe I should have taken that as a hint. But here we are, trying it out. Okay, now I need a teaspoon of cinnamon and then half a teaspoon of ground clover. So like I said, this is so good for you when you're sick. Obviously, I'm not a exact measurer, so not at all. This helps your body heal with the ginger and the honey. I just so happen to have wild elderberry growing throughout my property, so it's easy for me to get. Ginger, of course, I had to buy because we don't grow ginger, but the elderberries came free. What you hear in the background are my dogs. I forgot the rest of my elderberries that I picked, so I'll be right back. So sorry. Bear with me. I need to get some gloves on. Okay. They'll stain your fingers if you don't put gloves on, so that is the purpose of the gloves. All right, I'll be right back. Sorry for the messy kitchen. I'll explain here in a moment. Okay, if you are new to my channel, you know that my house is under construction. And then recently we had a flooding come through our house. And all of this was new. All of it is a new build, and flooding came through unexpectedly and damaged everything. So we had to rip up our floor. So right now it's exposed solid concrete flooring. And we already weren't finished with the construction of the build, and now we're having to like rebuild from the damage of the water. So if you notice that the the place looks a wreck, just bear with me. It's going to get better, I promise. And we do post videos about the process along the way so that you could see our building process. Right now, we're in the middle of sheetrocking and mudding the master bathroom upstairs. We've also posted a video on the page about the flooding because I did take some video of the flooding, which was awful. But so if you like this kind of content and you're not already a subscriber, please do subscribe. I would love to have you as part of the camp family. I may have to pause this live if my dog, he gets in these barking modes and there's no way to stop him. Tighten. Let's stop, please. Of course, he doesn't care if I'm on live or not. But what I'm doing right now is I'm just taking these elderberries and taking them off the stem. And look, I told you it stains your fingers. It gets really bad. It's like a hot magenta pink, like a red wine color almost. So definitely I would recommend wearing gloves. If you have questions about what I'm doing or why, please do leave a comment down below. I'll try to read the comments as they come in. I just need 1 3/4 cup to make this elderberry syrup. So I'm trying to eyeball it. And I'm only doing the purpley berries, not the green ones. Those can be toxic. So I'm leaving the green ones out. But again, if you're just hopping on, this is really good for your immune system. And if you're sick, it's really good to help you get through that, through your sickness. And I'm talking about like a cold or a flu. Nothing major. Okay, this might be enough. I may have gotten too many berries when I went foraging today. This is my basket of loot. So I'm just going to measure out my berries. I think I'm just going to do all of them because I'm just like barely over. So like I said, I just use measuring. I use recipes just as like a baseline. I don't stay tight to those most of the time. Okay, let me make sure I've got all the ingredients in there because I did get distracted. Got cinnamon, clover, ginger, and my elderberries. Now I'm just going to take these off, turn up the heat, and I need to bring them to a boil. And then once they come to a boil, I'm going to turn them down to a low simmer, and that's going to take about 30 minutes. So I don't have much to talk about for 30 straight minutes without keeping my hands busy with cooking. So I may put this live on pause while it's doing the simmering process and then pick you back up when the simmer is done and I'm ready to finish my recipe. But again, I'm just making elderberry syrup for my family's immune system and health. This is not a how-to channel. This is just to come hang out with me while I prep for my family. Oh, that's funny. We have leftover mayo and ketchup. I made hamburgers tonight, and so the person that's responsible for putting things away obviously didn't, and I didn't make sure they were put away. So after all of that, after it simmers for 30 minutes, you let it cool to room temperature, and then you add a cup of raw local honey. And that's probably one of the key factors too, because raw local honey has so many health benefits by itself. So adding that into your elderberry syrup. I would do that over sugar. I mean, I would just do honey. I would keep to the recipe. And if you would like, once I end this live, I can link the recipe that I'm using down below if you're interested in making this for your family. Tie it in. Can you not? I'm on live. Okay, so I've turned this heat up and now I'm just waiting for it to boil. Right now it just looks like a muddy mess in the pot, and that's how it is. I will show you the finished product. I bought a whole bunch of these bottles and I also have some glass ones. But this is what it looks like when it's all done. And if you don't stay for the whole live, let me just tell you, on the recipe that I can comment down below once the live ends, it says a standard dose for kids is a half to 1 teaspoon, and then for adults it's half to 1 tablespoon, and that's if the flu does strike. And then you can take that every 2 to 3 hours, and it helps with sore throat, coughing, things like that. I have to be careful with what I say because it is a natural remedy. So if you're into that sort of thing and you're interested in this recipe, keep watching, or like I said, come back to my channel, subscribe. I like posting things like this, and I will put the recipe down in the comments. Okay, now that I have a minute, let me see if I have any questions coming through. I don't even know how to look because, like I said, this is my first live. So yeah, I don't even know how to check the chat. So maybe no one is making comments, and that's why I'm not seeing any. So just keep me posted. If you have any questions, put them down below. And if I, for some reason, because this is my first live, so I don't know where to look, still put them down below, and I will answer them once my live ends. Because like I said, I am all new to this. So I actually picked enough for probably another batch, and I already did 6 bottles earlier, but I like to make enough for the whole year because once these berries stop growing, just like everything else, they stop growing. So I won't get to pick them again until next July, August. So I like to do a lot. This is actually my first time picking the berries myself from our property. So I just want to make enough to last for all of our, we have a family of 4, so for our sicknesses to take care of all year long. So that's why I'm making so many batches. And we have so many wild ones growing. But I always say too, you want to leave enough wild things growing to share it with nature. So you don't want to you never want to take all of something in nature. You want to share and leave some for nature. But thank you guys for watching. Comment down below. Dead airspace makes me nervous, and that's probably because I used to be in customer service for the longest time. And they train you to never ever have empty airspace with talking. So if you have any questions, drop it down. I'd be happy to answer them. I may not. If I don't have the answer, I will find it and get it for you. But this recipe is really, really very simple. So then the only hard task is to find wild elderberries growing. You also need to know how to decipher what the elderberry bush is, because as you probably know, it's not very safe to just pick berries if you are unfamiliar with what they are. They could be very toxic. So definitely do your research when going foraging, especially if you're new, like I am. I'm fairly new. We've only been homesteading going on 3 years now, and we're really just this year kind of getting into it because the first year we've been focused on doing nothing but building. So now we're kind of getting in the groove of the homesteading part, and I am right when I got in the groove of it though, like right when I started getting excited about food preservation, canning, gardening, and all of that, that's when the flood hit us pretty hard and wiped out our entire garden and our bees. So it was pretty devastating, and I've been in kind of a funk for, well, ever since it happened. So like almost a month I've been in a funk. And so really this elderberry syrup is like the last homesteady thing that I can do since we don't have a garden. So I was excited to get back in the kitchen, even if it's just to make a simple syrup. So just thought I would hang out with you guys along the way. And most of you do watch my videos in the morning because that's when I post. So I know that you're not used to seeing me in the evening, which is probably why you're not even on. So like I said, if you see this on the replay, comment that down below. I'm interested to see who saw me live and who saw me on the afterplay. Okay, so this is now at a boil. So like I was telling you earlier, it has to simmer for 30 minutes. So that's when I will pause my live at this point because you don't want to hear me ramble, especially if no one is actually leaving comments for me to answer. So I will lower this to simmer. I will continually stir this, and then I will come back to the live when it's ready for the next step. So if you want to come back to me, do subscribe to the channel. Again, I would love to have you as part of the camper family. I do everything homestead. I bake, I cook, I clean. We are building our house still currently. We are redoing the house because of the flood. We have livestock, we have bees. We are going to restart our garden hopefully soon. So I do everything all encompassing new homesteading. So if you want to watch me fumble and learn the hard way as I go, please do subscribe. I would love to have you. Again, this is not a how-to channel. I am in no way an expert in anything. I'm just learning and allowing you to hang out with me as I learn and grow and make those mistakes. So I would love to have you as part of the family. Do come back though. Come back in 30 minutes. I promise I will come back to live.